Well, welcome again. We're coming to you live from right outside of our election protection hotline boiler room, where we've been open since 6:30 this morning, accepting calls for voters all across the state. This is the day we've been planning and waiting for all year. So for anyone who hasn't voted yet, you didn't take advantage of early voting, we ask you to join the more than 2 million people that have already voted in this critical midterm election. So whether you're honoring your ancestors or you're doing it for your family or for your future that you hope to see, this is so important. This is an important midterm because voting may not be the only answer, but it is such a critical piece of the puzzle to liberation and to the equity that we want for all. So remember, polls are open now until 7:30 this evening. If you have any questions, want to see your ballot, please visit ncvoter.org to find out your precinct, because you have to go to your precinct, not your early voting location that was on deck earlier. So for anyone that has any questions or any issues, please call our hotline 888-OUR-VOTE. That's 888-687-8683. And one of our voting experts will assist you. Now I'm going to pass it over to Marquez Thompson, Democracy NC's new organizing director. Marquez, can you tell us what voters can expect when they go to the polls today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Cheryl. So DMC has organizers on the ground all across the state. And one of the main things that they're doing is supporting our GeoTV efforts and our Vote Protector program, which is the main part of that. As voters go to the polls, they can expect a safe and secure process. However, should any voter experience any problem, our volunteers are there to help. Our volunteers have been trained to ascertain the situation, to get the details about the situation, to get the details of the contact information for that voter, and then most importantly, to connect them to experts at our hotline at 888-OUR-VOTE. There are experts will help the voter to know what their rights are and how they should proceed further depending on the situation. So now you get to have behind the scenes look at our efforts to help make the ballot accessible to all North Carolinians, from our partners, from language and ability partners to voter access partners to our state hotline. So never has this work been more important. I'm passing it to my brother, Mitchell Brown, from SCSJ, or the Social Coalition for Social Justice, to talk more about this.
Thank you, Marquez. As Marquez said, my name is Mitchell Brown. I'm counsel at the Southern Coalition for Social Justice here in Durham, North Carolina. And as Cheryl said in her initial comments, please call the hotline if you have any issues. Again, the number is 888-687-8683. And just to give everyone a little update on the hotline, so since the beginning of early voting on Thursday, October 20th, we've had over 2,100 calls, and that number is climbing today. As Cheryl said, we've been open since actually 6 o'clock this morning on the hotline taking calls, and we've had over close to 150 calls this morning, helping voters to cast their ballots, telling them where their polling sites are, helping them to establish a voting plan. And with stopping there for a moment, if you do not have a voting plan, please create one today and go out and vote today. Polls are open until 7:30, and we want to make sure that everybody has the ability to vote. And if you have any issues, again, please feel free to call the hotline. We've been helping voters for all of early voting in this morning, and we look forward to helping more voters tonight. And the last thing I want to say is that polls close at 7:30. And if you are in line at 7:30, please stay in line, because you have the right to vote if you're in line by 7:30 tonight. But vote earlier than 7:30 if you can. With that, I'll pass it back to Cheryl or Marquez.
And I pass it to Chavez Carter at North Carolina Asian Americans Together. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Happy Election Day. I am Chevy Conero, Executive Director of North Carolina Asian Americans Together, or NCAT. We're the only statewide organization dedicated to increasing civic engagement and Pan-Asian communities across North Carolina. Asian Americans are the fastest growing racial group in the state, with a population growth that has surpassed general statewide growth. Asian Americans also tend to be bilingual or LEP voters, with 78% speaking a language other than English at home and 32% classified as having limited English proficiency. For the past year, our organization has worked hard at sharing multilingual, culturally competent information about the election with our community. We've sent out over 700,000 multilingual mailers, 400,000 infographics describing the roles of electeds at different levels of the ballot, made over 150,000 calls and texts, and knocked over 6,000 doors, all in an effort to increase Asian American voter turnout. And so far, the early vote period has shown an increase in Asian American voter turnout from that of 2018, and compared to 2014, 7 times more Asian American voters have shown up at the polls in 2022. The youth Asian American vote has also been high, a trend we saw beginning in 2020. As of November 7th, the Asian American youth turnout outpaced statewide youth turnout by 4 percentage points. Today, we're out here just hoping to keep those Asian American voter turnout numbers high and to make sure that today all Election Day voters have a positive experience. Our team is here to address any last minute issues that come up for AAPI voters. We're spread out at sites across the state, including in Cabarrus County, 2 here in Apex, 1 at Parkside Elementary in Morrisville. So far, what we're seeing on the ground is a lot of last minute youth voters who are telling us that their friends have already voted, along with some older first-time Asian American voters who feel compelled to participate this year. The lines have been steady at our site with no more than a 30 or so minute wait. And along with our teams on the ground, our multilingual election protection hotline is also open until polls close tonight. Our hotline offers language assistance in over 20 different Asian American languages and has been active since the beginning of the early voting period. During the period, we've received the most language assistance requests in Vietnamese, Hindi, Gujarati, and Korean. Our hotline can be reached by calling 919-591-2442. If you haven't voted yet, please don't hesitate to reach out to our hotline to help you create a plan for today or to answer any last minute questions you might have. And with that, I will turn it back over to Melissa Price-Crum.
Hi, everybody. My name is Melissa Price-Crum, and I'm the director of the North Carolina Voters for Clean Elections. Now, the one thing that we've always come together around is that our elections should be respected. Now, our preferred candidate might not always win, and that's okay. As a mom, I tell my kids all the time, you can't win them all, and the same goes for our elections. Unfortunately, that kind of common sense is rapidly becoming less common. This rapidly growing election disinformation we are seeing is a threat that we must address. If you see something, say something. Please report any election disinformation that you see to DemNC/tipline. That is DemNC/tipline. Now, a growing number of people have decided that their politics are more important than our country. Last election, we were left shell-shocked after discovering the links to which some went to overthrow our elections, including but not limited to a violent insurrection. In the years since, the big lie hasn't faded into obscurity. Shocking, I know. On the contrary, it has taken root and grown among a group of election overthrowing extremists looking to gain power by hook or crook. Now, this election disinformation we are seeing raises grave concerns on this election day. Again, if you see something, say something, report it to our election tip line, DemNC/tipline. Now, as many of you know, we have candidates who have declared that they won't commit to accepting election results should they lose. Conspiracy theories are not valid reasons to undermine an entire election system. You need proof. Here in North Carolina, our election workers are working around the clock to make sure that every last eligible vote gets counted, and that's a really big deal. It's critical that North Carolinians trust their election system. After all, democracy runs on trust. So if someone is going to play footsie with undermining public trust in our election system, they better have a good reason and a heck of a lot of proof to back it up. Now, we've been here before, and we've got through it together. This election, let's choose freedom over fear, proof over accusation, country over party, and people over politics. And now I pass to Sailor Jones at Chantel Stevens at the ACLU of North Carolina.
Good morning. I'm Chantal Stevens with the ACLU of North Carolina. In a democracy, voting is one of the most profound commitments we can make to ourselves and each other. Through voting, we play an active role in ensuring our values are represented among those who make decisions that directly impact our lives. For democracy to work for all of us, every vote must count. Bad actors try to make voting more difficult so they can continue to govern without accountability to their constituencies. We the people must prove nothing will stop us from making our voices heard. The ACLU of North Carolina has been diligent in our approach to ensure no eligible voter is restricted from being able to vote. This year, we joined partners in raising awareness that 56,000 people with past felony convictions can now vote and assisted those individuals in registering. The issues on the ballot directly impact our civil liberties, including bodily autonomy, access to historically accurate education, LGBTQ+ and immigrant rights, and our criminal justice system. Should we choose not to exercise our right to vote, we are essentially giving up our voice to those who want to create barriers that restrict our access to fair and equitable systems. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. The ACLU of North Carolina will continue to fight against any attacks on our right to free and fair elections. We encourage anyone who encounters someone attempting to infringe on their right to vote to contact the Election Protection Hotline at 1-866-OUR-VOTE. Thank you. And now I'll turn it over to Sailor Jones from Common Cause.
Hi, friends. This is Sailor Jones. I'm Associate Director at Common Cause North Carolina, and I'm here with Keisha Dobie.
Good morning, all from the Northeast North Carolina.
And we're here in front of KEY Education Center, the precinct closest to Elizabeth City State. We are proud to say here in Pasquotank County, they are voting at the state or above the state average. About 30% of folks in Pasquotank have already voted. We got 13% of Elizabeth City State University also voting, go Vikes. And we will have more people here today, more students here today, joined by the Pasquotank County NAACP and Mr. Keith Rivers as well. Now, just because turnout is high doesn't mean there haven't been problems today. We've met people today who were at the wrong precinct. They were told to go the right one, but they were not offered a provisional ballot. And we've had some folks who were asked for ID without any registration problems. So today is a day for fixing those problems. We're calling 888-RVOTE to do it. And we're documenting and we're calling the hotline to make sure people in Pasquotank and all across Eastern North Carolina can vote. Keisha, you and Keith have been out for early voting since Jesus wept. Tell us how things have been going at the polls this week.
Well, just the few days that I've been out, the polls have really looked good. People have turned out. UCSU students have been on the uptick in their voter turnout, and the NAACP, as well as other Greek letter organizations, have come out and they've provided protection and power and empowerment to those people that are voting. Keith has been out every day, and I know he's got some comments.
Keith, how are we doing out here today?
Oh, we're doing outstanding. People are feeling at ease. They are relaxed. You can hear the music in the background, the presence of people that ensure that justice is served and carried out is a winning formula for getting people out to the polls and for them to feel safe, encouraged, and the show of power again. So it is awesome to be here, and everybody just keep doing what you're doing and be safe out there.
Thank you, friends. We're being safe out here in Pasquotank. We're making it safe with the voter hotline. A reminder, call 888-R-VOTE. If you have any questions or problems, no call us too small. We'll be here through the East all day long. Perquimans, Chowan, Bertie, we're all over the East, and the East is all over the polling places as we're turning up and showing up for this particular night. Come on out to KE White if you're near Elizabeth City State University, and make sure you make your voice heard. Back to y'all.
Hi, everybody. This is Gino Nuzalillo. I'm coming to you from Graham Recreation Center here in Alamance County. We're here with some amazing vote protector volunteers. Y'all want to say hi? Hi. We are out here today. Y'all have been out here since 6:30 this morning. Is that right? Yes. Since 6:30 this morning, protecting the vote. It's been smooth. There is music. There is water. There is Gatorade. There's everything for voters out here. This is one of the most important sites and one of the most important counties that really symbolizes a lot of the change in North Carolina. And we are very lucky to have dedicated vote volunteers like our friends here, making sure that it's a smooth experience for voters. In Alamance County, we know that in the previous week, there's been some misinformation about whether certain candidates were appearing on the ballot. And of course, that is not true. All candidates who are supposed to be on the ballot are on the ballot in Alamance County. Voters are going to have a full suite of options to choose from in this county today. And so far, so good. Everything is moving smoothly here. No incidents or issues at the polls. And really right here, we are at the front lines of people who are trying to be a welcoming face for voters to make sure they have a good first-time experience. My friends, is there anything that you all want to say to the statewide audience that we've got here about what you're seeing at the polls today? And please feel free if you'd like to say it in Spanish as well, my friend.
Honestly, I mean, everything's going pretty smooth.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable, not too many stuff going on. So yeah, we're enjoying helping out and being volunteers for this program.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hola, aquí estamos cuidando a los votos, a las personas que no puedan votar. Estamos auxiliándolos y aquí estamos para servirle al público. Gracias.
And do you want to just tell us what your mom said for those who are speaking English on the call? Yeah.
She said we're here to protect all voters, or the people that are just here to vote or not vote, just to enjoy.
Appreciate it. All right, folks, that is all here from Alamance County. I'm very pleased to turn it next to Ileana Santillan with El Pueblo.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ileana Santillan. I'm the Executive Director of El Pueblo, and we work with the immigrant community. We're based out of Raleigh in Wake County. This morning, half of our staff is at the Green Road Community Center, answering voter questions and creating a safe, fun environment for voters to exercise their right to vote. We've been there since the polls opened today at 6:30 a.m. and we'll be there until the polls close. Currently, there are 263,963 Latinx voters registered in North Carolina. This year, we expect to see more than 100,000 of those folks cast a ballot in North Carolina at this election. What we've seen at the Green Road Community Center today and in other polling locations is community members excited about voting, feeling like they're empowered with the information they need. This year, El Pueblo created 13 voter guides specific for counties. They were completely bilingual in English and Spanish, and you can find them all at votemosnc.com. We've had poll parties at the sites in Chatham and Alamance, so really excited to hear that folks are in Alamance and there are bilingual people there helping in case anything comes up. Today, El Pueblo is split between 2 locations. We are again at the Green Earth Community Center, and half of our staff is at our office helping the Naleo Educational Fund hotline. So for anybody who's out there, if they have any issues voting, if they need help finding their location, and they want to speak to someone in Spanish, they can call the hotline 1-888-VEYVOTA or 1-888-839-8682. Like many of the incredible organizations at this briefing today, El Pueblo has been working to get out the vote for months. We've registered hundreds of voters. We've knocked on hundreds of doors, and we're excited to be at the polls on election day as our final effort this year to not only encourage North Carolina voters to vote, but also provide them with the resources and confidence that they need to make this important decision that will affect all of us, all of our lives for the years to come. And now I'll pass it over to Caitlin.
Good morning, North Carolina. My name is Caitlin Swain, and I'm the co-director of Forward Justice, a law, policy, and strategy center dedicated to racial and social justice here in North Carolina. Today is the day when North Carolinians make their voices heard on the leadership of our city, state, and the nation. It is a beautiful day to get out and vote, North Carolina. For us, today isn't about Democrats or Republicans. It's about the people of this state and this nation being able to freely exercise their fundamental right to vote during a historic election that is a referendum on the health of our democracy. In this state, new voters are participating for the first time in this cycle. The 56,000 newly enfranchised voters who have just had their rights restored under the Second Chance Alliance's court victory do not have to provide any special documentation proving your eligibility to vote. If you are not currently in jail or prison, we want you to know that you have the right to make your voice heard, and your voice matters in this election. We have stood beside our partners all over the state, and those of you who have come together today here with Democracy North Carolina to make sure that this message is crystal clear. In this state where elections come down to razor-thin margins and justice is on the ballot at every level, your vote deeply matters, and we want you to know that we are here to stand beside you to protect your vote from the moment you step into the precinct today until that vote is ultimately counted at the end of the canvass. Forward Justice is also proud to serve as the clearinghouse for voter intimidation and other complaints that are coming in to our joint hotline today. We want you to know that there is no place for voter intimidation in this democracy, and it will not be tolerated. We will be responding quickly and effectively to any reports that come in today and through the canvass period. Please know that if you are a second chance voter and you have issues at the polls, we do have a dedicated hotline specifically for you. That number is 877-880-VOTE. Finally, I want to close by saying we have been through a lot here in North Carolina, attacks on our right to vote. But the people in this state are standing up and voting fearless in 2022. We encourage you to use your voice. Let us know if you need us, because we have a powerful bench of people ready to stand with you. This is going to be a historic election, no matter what the results are, because we have expanded the we the people, and we will continue to fight to make North Carolina a model for this nation as the eyes of the nation are on us. Thank you so much.
Right, so thank you. You have heard from our amazing slate of speakers. As Caitlin just said, there is a whole bench of us out here to support you, to protect you. So with that, I want to see, are there any questions?
If you are a reporter tuning in, please feel free to come off mute and provide your question.
Hello.
Go right ahead and ask your question. Please say your name and what outlet you are with.
Hi, this is Denise Lavoie with Associated Press. And I was wondering if you have heard of any specific incidents of voter intimidation or harassment so far today.
I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin Swain with Forward Justice, who's been working on our voter intimidation.
Thank you so much for the question. So far today, we have not had any new reports of voter intimidation. What we have been continuing to do this morning is monitor hotspots that we have been paying close attention to during the early voting period. There are specific counties that we know have seen concerning incidents of voter intimidation during the early voting period, and we're working closely with the Attorney General's office, with the US DOJ, with our partners at the State Board of Elections and at the County Board of Elections to ensure that we are responding quickly and ejecting any forces at the polls that are there to obstruct the ability of our voters in North Carolina to have access to their fundamental right to vote. And I know that Democracy North Carolina is going to be also doing a briefing at 2 p.m. today, where there will be an update on data and information about the types of complaints that we're seeing, and we'll be ready and prepared there to provide information about voter intimidation complaints that may be coming in.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are there any more questions? Again, we open up the floor to any more questions. If you have any, please unmute. Again, thank you so much. Let's go out and take advantage of this beautiful day. And again, happy Election Day.